So if you're seeing this now, that means that I followed through on the words I just said. Go pick this book up if you want to make this face. So I obviously didn't finish it. I'm still behind. What else is new? I just feel like reading. All I want to do is read, and I really need to latch onto this feeling because it doesn't come around often. We have fallen a bit behind. Is anyone surprised? No, least of all me. I am pleased as punch. We're doing the best we can, okay? What the fuck is happening? Oh my God, okay. Oh my God, okay. I'm having a reaction, can you tell? This is a tangent you may or may not want to skip over. My dudes, we are being fed with this book. Tomorrow, I have to pick another book. And that's the problem that I'm running into, is that every day I have to pick another book. And somehow that thought didn't cross my mind when I made the plan to do these videos. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are about to embark on a very exciting and terrifying journey. I have created an advent calendar of 24 books that I want to read in 24 days. Now I will let you in on a bit of a secret. It is actually me from the future. I've already embarked on this journey. I know exactly how it ends. But genius that I am, forgot to film an intro, so I had to go and put these all back on here so I could film an intro, because there's just no forethought sometimes. There's nothing going on up here. I already know how this ends. I think you and I both could guess how this ends, but if you're curious, stay tuned to see how many of these books I actually read in the 24 days and what did I think of them. It's very exciting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So bear with me. We're going to rewind to the very beginning of the month where we started the very first book, and we're going to go on a journey together, and I will meet you back here at the end. Are we ready to pick? It's Spark of the Everflame. Good morning. It is day 2 of this challenge, and we're doing the best we can, okay? I did manage to finish Spark of the Everflame late last night, which is kind of why I look like this today. Honestly, I should tell you about it, right? It's so good. I get it. I get the hype. It's so good. I did have some fear in the beginning. I was like, this is such a slow burn, which I was like, that's fine, but I need little like Easter eggs in order to continue. Like I need to be fed. You know what I mean? I need to be fed teeny tiny bits. For a minute, it didn't seem like that was going to happen. And I was like, I felt like I was like 60% of the way through the book, and I was like, nothing is happening. I mean, everything is happening plot-wise. Nothing is happening romance-wise. And that's fine, but I was looking for the romance. I was waiting for the romance, and I did get it. It came. It was delicious. The tiny little morsels that we received, delicious. I get it. I am having such a hard time not picking up the next book right now because that ending, I mean, come on. I knew something like that was going to happen, but not that exactly. That was like, and then the epilogue, where the hell, what the hell, who the hell, how the hell, I have so many questions. I am dying to read the next book. I am a smart cookie, and I included book 2 in my little advent calendar, just in case I loved it. I figured if I didn't love it, I can replace it with something else, like a freebie or have a free day, whatever. But I did include it. I don't know when it's gonna come up, but I need it. And I am gonna have a hard time focusing on anything else today, I feel. I think I have to give it like a 4.25. I loved it. I cannot wait to see more. I think there was a little more that could have made it a 5-star. I can't explain exactly what, but I think like, I don't know, if there was just a little bit more romance or a little bit more plot or something, I think it could have been, but I also think it's gonna be a 5-star series. I think that where we left off and where we're going, I think is going to end up being 5-star material. I'm pretty sure. So that is book 1 done. I'm going to be super lazy today. I'm not going to worry about laundry or decorating or manicures or editing or anything, which might be a terrible idea because it might be setting me up for a really stressful week. But I just feel like reading. All I want to do is read, and I really need to latch onto this feeling because it doesn't come around often, right? So we have our calendar. Spark of the Everflame is done. I'm gonna open the next book. Or should I open two? No, I'm just gonna open one. And then hopefully we'll be able to open a second one today and jump ahead a little so that we're like in a really good position, you know? So, did not think this through. How do I do this? I'm out of hands. Hang on, how about this? Don't look at my fingers. Okay, ready? Oh God, this is when it all ends. Okay. Exciting. Need to read that book. Oh, here it is. It's right here. How convenient. I still have not put away the books from filming the intro to this yesterday. So, Apprentice to the Villain. There's no excuse for having not read this yet, considering the first book was my favorite book of the year last year. It makes no sense that I haven't picked this up. I don't know if it's fear or what. I'm pretty sure I read Assistant to the Villain in one sitting, like very quickly. It has so much humor, so much angst. It is such a fun, silly goose time, like such an unserious book that it's just so easy to fly through. And being so unserious, it still manages to have like major angst, which is awesome. So I'm gonna get started on this, and I will probably check in with you either when I'm halfway through or when I finish, and we can pick our next book. We're moving rapid speed here, okay? That's what we're doing. I'm gonna get reading. Okay, so I'm about to start this book, and I'm very excited, but I just need to say, I have been sitting here laughing, like giggling to myself for the last like 3 minutes since I sat down at the just utter chaos that I'm looking at right now, because I feel like it's just so representative of my life, at least this year. Okay, so are we ready? We've already talked about this, but we still have fall, right? So I have some napkins that are pick your poison, right? So we're in a Halloween era. That's an Ethernet cord running through my entire house because I have been struggling with my Wi-Fi, okay? Then we'll pan over here. Now, I really want you to just take this in with me, okay? Let's just really take it in. We have a new TBR cart. She's gorgeous. She's hot pink. She is watermelon as all hell. It's giving summer, okay? It's giving spring, it's giving summer, and that is not where we are. Now moving on, let's go in here, okay? I've got the winter ambiance because I need it, but it's surrounded by pumpkins and falling leaves harvest breeze signs. And then if you keep going in, we have a damn advent calendar sitting next to a Ouija board. Because why not? I mean, what in the disorganized chaos theory is this? And then we come over here to all these books that we think we're gonna read, including Christmas books. So once again, reminded of the Christmas without a single thing to show for it anywhere else. It's just chaos. It's just chaos, and I love it. But that's not what we're here to do. We're here to read. We're gonna enjoy whatever the hell is going on in this apartment right now, or at least ignore it long enough to actually read her, because I'm so ready. Oh, I forgot the pages are purple. That's pretty. All right, we're gonna start reading. I feel like this is like a jump scare. I should not be allowed to post without makeup on, I think. But also, that's one of the things, this is a tangent you may or may not want to skip over. That's one of the things that has definitely been stopping me from filming as much as I would like to, because on days that I'm feeling like a lazy girly who wants to rot, it's very hard for me to pick up a camera when I don't have makeup on, which is stupid because number one, I'm the only person who cares. You guys don't care. Number two, I'm probably one of the only people on BookTube who doesn't post without makeup on. I mean, there's been a few, very few times, but like, I feel like most channels, they all sort of just like, I don't know, they get cozy and they go natural and they have no fear. And I have all the fear and I don't know why that is. So that's something we should look into, right? It is obviously much later, if you can't tell. The sun, it is gone. I finished Apprentice to the Villain. It was touch and go because I may or may not have fallen asleep for like 2 hours, which was not in the plan. That was not in the original plan, but here we are. It was delightful. It really was. I mean, it was every bit as fun and silly as the first book, almost more so. I think that my one complaint, and this isn't even a complaint because it's actually really, really smart move on the writer's behalf, but my one complaint is that it is such a slow burn, and this is so ironic that I'm saying this because I just read Spark of the Everflame, which is the slowest burn I've ever seen, and now here we are again. The villain is just such a good character. I am so obsessed with him. I love him so much. He melts my heart, but I need them to do something. I need them to do more. I need them to do more. I mean, it's so fun because we do get his point of view and her point of view, and we know exactly how much they are longing for each other. We get other points of view too, so it holds your attention for sure. But we know exactly how they feel about each other, and it's just, it kills me that it's taking them so damn long. I get it, but it's killing me. I'm curious what the plan is. I'm curious how many books are like planned at this point. If this is gonna be, does anyone know? Do we already know this answer? I should have probably looked. If this is gonna be a trilogy, like the final book is gonna be, it's gonna have to be like crazy love happening, and I think the payoff is going to be so good. But if it's not a trilogy, how many books is she going to make us suffer and wait and hope and plead for some love and some romance? I don't know the answer, but it was so good. It was so good. I think I have to give it a 5-star. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, oh, was it as good as the first one? And part of me is like, maybe not. But then the other part of me is like, actually, it probably was better. I think the first one took me so by surprise that one will always hold a special place in my heart. And because of that, I feel like this one, I'm like, it didn't do exactly the same thing for me as the first one. But that being said, just because I knew what to expect going in doesn't make it any less amazing. So I think I'm giving it a 5-star. This is a 5-star series. I will read every book she puts out. I laughed the entire time and I had a great time, and I'm living my best life. I'm going to see what tomorrow's book is now because I do want to get a head start. I can already feel myself getting behind, and I know that's silly because we're only in day 2, and so far I have read a book a day, so that's great. 2 books down on December 2nd. We're killing it, but we still have 22 days. And I just know that there's going to come a time where things are going to go wrong. And so I want to preemptively try and read as much as I can whenever I have the time, because the days that I don't have the time, I'm going to be grateful for these times. Say time again. So I think I'm going to pick the 3rd book, see what that is. Hopefully it's a good one. I mean, they're all good. And I'm going to try to read some of it, if not most of it, because of all the reasons I just said. Why am I over explaining this? I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to try to read some of it, and then I think I might allow myself a little self-indulgence and put on one of the new Netflix Christmas movies. I have already watched the Lindsay Lohan one. It was delightful. I am very much looking forward to the Chad Michael Murray one, as well as the one called Hot Frosty, just because it is so absurd that it's probably going to be amazing. So I think I might, I don't know, like I'm still in the mood to read, but I also feel like I don't want to burn myself out. So I don't want to like not do any of the other things I want to do. And since I'm having a cozy night already, we've got the coziness going on. It might be fun, like maybe while I have dinner, to watch a Christmas movie and just like vibe. And it might also incentivize me or encourage me to finally get started on decorating, because this is so unlike me. Like I decorated for fall on like August 12th. Like I was done, I was ready, I was so ready. And I usually am like that with Christmas too, because I love my Christmas decor. I am just being so lazy. I don't know what it is. And I feel like I won't feel in the Christmas spirit until I do that. But hopefully watching a movie will help guide me there. So let's pick a book. Let's go see what it is. I hope it's a good one. Maybe it's a Christmas one. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, can you see? So far things are going very well. 2 books down, we have a 4.25 and a 5. Excellent. Now let's see book number 3. Come on down. I'm so scared I'm gonna like rip this. Ooh, Metal Slinger. Okay, this is another one I don't own yet. I'm gonna have to read it on my Kindle, which I think I already told you. I got a new Kindle. I love her very much. I got a page turner and a Kindle holder. It is something that I did not want to do. I did not want to be like everybody else. I thought it was an unnecessary purchase. Honestly, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. The best thing that's ever happened to me. I can be snug as a bug in a rug in my bed, like this, with the blankets all over me, no hands being cold at all, and I just click the little button and the pages turn. It's the best thing that's ever happened. I'm gonna get started on this, and I will maybe check in with you when I take a break to have dinner, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll never see you again. Honestly, the way I'm looking and feeling right now, probably shouldn't check in with you again. We'll see. We'll see. Hello. I've never been more of a mess in my life. Who cares? Who cares? 59% of the way through Metal Slinger. I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts. I have fear that this is not going to work for me the way it works for so many people. And I'm scared about that. Obviously, I still have 40% left. Things could definitely turn around. As of right now, though, I am feeling like the writing seems very disjointed. Like it skips over major things. Like you'll end a chapter and then you start the next chapter and they're in a totally different place, which is fine, but it's like you're not given any information about what happened between here and here, or where they are now, and you're just sort of like thrown into it. Actually, that's kind of how the book started. You're literally thrown into the very beginning of the book, like in the middle of a conversation. The first page is like, if we can, or we'll try, or something like that, and you have no idea what they're talking about. So it's definitely, I agree with so many people that are saying it's super fast-paced, because it is. It is very fast-paced. It is nonstop action. There was a bit of some traveling happening that is always a struggle for me to get through. Anytime characters are going on a journey, I just want them to get there. It kills me. And so there was a good portion of that, maybe 10% of it, where they were journeying. That being said, it is very fast moving. There's a ton of plot happening. It just feels very unpolished, maybe? I don't know. Like, I don't want to say the writing's bad, because it's not. It's not bad. It's actually a fascinating story, and I really enjoy learning about this world and this magic system. I think it's all really interesting and creative and unique. I just feel like I'm having to learn as I go, but I'm not being given all of the pieces that I need to understand what's happening. That also could be just me. I could just be dumb and not understanding, and that's totally okay. The one other thing I'll say that is really the reason I'm scared about how I'm going to feel about this in the end, I don't know who the love interest is. I assume it's a person we've spent quite a bit of time with in this book. I assume it's him. It would make sense for it to be him, right? I don't feel any romance between our characters, any chemistry between him and our main female character. I don't know what it is. It feels friendly. I know that there are bits where it seems like there's some longing on his behalf, and there are definitely bits where there's longing on her behalf, but more so just like lust, like, oh, look at the way his muscles bunch while he fishes, like that kind of thing, versus like the angst that you expect to feel when it's like this like longing and yearning, and I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that. But maybe this isn't the love interest. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe this is like a first book, like red herring. This could be like a Sarah J. Maas situation where you think one thing is happening and then somebody else comes along 2 books later. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I really don't know. I just don't like them that much. I'm not rooting for them. I'm not dying for them to get together. I want something to happen romantically. So if it's with them, I'm fine with that. But I'm not seeing it yet. It feels more like brother-sister vibes than romantic. And I just don't love him. I don't know if it's like, he's not your typical broody, like dark, mysterious, angry man. And I know that that's like a trope that people get real sick of. I do not get sick of that. Give me a Kingfisher, give me a Slade. I want that like mysterious, kind of angry, kind of sad, kind of hates himself character. And this guy just kind of seems very like happy-go-lucky in a weird way. Like with everything going on, he still seems very like, I can't explain it. I can't explain it, but that is how I'm feeling. I've seen so many people read this on like Book Talk and, you know, screaming about how twisty it is, how angsty it is, squealing about things, kicking their feet. I am not squealing or kicking my feet. I'm waiting for there to come a time where those things will happen, and I'm hoping the next 40%, perhaps we will get somewhere, and I will be by the end. I mean, I would love it. I would love nothing more if I could eat my words at the end of this and go, you know what? I was damn wrong. But that's just how I'm feeling right now. I'm sad about it. I have 2.5 hours left of this book. I'm trying to decide if I should try and finish it or take a break and have something to eat and then try to finish it. I should just muscle through, I think. I'm gonna try to read at least another hour before taking a break. And maybe I'll have like better feelings then, you know? I don't know. Okay, I know I just left, but why do I look like my shoulders are so big? I'm like swimming. Okay, I know I just put the camera down, but I had one more thought as soon as I started reading again. There is a character that is more my speed, and I don't want to say any names because I don't know where this is going and I don't want to spoil anything about it, but there is a character who is like a saucy, charming ladies man, like always with a quip and a banter and a witty comeback, and he is much more my speed. I don't think he is going to be a love interest. As far as I'm aware, he's a friend, but he seems much more interesting to me. I am hoping that we get more of him, and I'm hoping that maybe he gets a romantic interest, because I would be definitely down to see that. And if you've read the book, I hope you know who I'm talking about, because he is just a silly goose, but he's so witty. He's got really good banter, like really good from page 1. So I'm curious about him. Okay, now I really am gonna go. Bye. What the fucking fuck is happening? What the fuck did I just read? Okay, everything I said before about the chaotic energy of this book and about my feelings for the male main character, I stand by it. I do. However, there were some moments that I did feel the chemistry percolating, but I still was struggling. I feel, okay, here's the thing. I feel like I just read 2 or 3 separate books, like 3 separate stories. It went from this like ocean pirate, poor confused girl story to this like journey story, and then this like magic story, and then court drama, and then the ending. I knew because of every single TikTok I've seen that this ending was going to be crazy, and I've been trying so hard to like guess what it is or like what could be so crazy, and I had a ton of theories and none of them were right. None of them. This was an insane ending. And even though I would say for the first 70% of this book, I was like, I don't think this story is for me. I now, after that ending, looking back, I can see it for what it is, which is like a really well-crafted story. Like, really complicated, really you have to pay attention, but really well done for me to be this shocked. And I definitely need the next book. I'm going to continue. I literally 30% ago would have said, probably not. Even 20% ago. But that ending just turned it all around. I still stand by what I said. I'm not crazy about the male main character. I'm not crazy about the writing style, but I also get why it was the way it was. I don't want to say any more. I don't want to spoil anything. Go pick this book up if you want to make this face. Go pick this book up. And that's done. I finished Metal Slinger. I finished tomorrow's book, which means tomorrow I can maybe start the next day's book and get a head start on that. But right now, I'm gonna go eat dinner and watch a Christmas movie and try and unpack everything I just read. That was insane. I literally started, I like flipped the page to the next chapter, and like the first paragraph I was like, and I just grabbed my camera because I was like, I don't know what's coming, but I know that I want to catch my reaction to it. So I'm gonna go. Next time you see me, hopefully I will be a little less disheveled, a little more coherent, and we'll be picking our next book. It's too hot. Good morning. It is December 3rd. I had a bit of a sleep-in? No. I had a bit of a lie-in today. I meant to get up hours ago. Oopsie daisy. So we're starting the day off a little later than I would have liked. The good news is I've already finished today's book, so we're actually going to pick tomorrow's book. The bad news is I don't foresee me being able to start reading until tonight around 9 when I get home from work, because I have a busy day today. So I'm hoping we pick a quick and easy one. But yeah, let's pick our next book. If I don't finish it today, it's okay because it's tomorrow's book, but I don't want to start getting lazy this early. You know what I mean? So let's see. Also, I think I need to go get my nails done today because number 1, I can't go back to work like this. Number 2, it is painful. And number 3, I don't want you to see me like this anymore. Okay, that is not the one I wanted. Oh boy. I'm very obsessed with my new TBR cart, but it also, I don't believe, was built correctly by me. Because the books make the shelves tip a little bit. Immortal Dark. I am very excited to read this, but I'm also very intimidated. I feel like it's going to be complicated. I don't know why. I don't know what makes me think that, I don't know if it's just like dark academia tends to be a little bit more complex than your average fantasy. I don't know. I'm very excited to read it though. So how many pages is it? Let's see. Oh, okay. So it's only 400 pages, which is not as bad as I thought. So if I can get ready quick enough, maybe I'll start it before I have to leave. And then hopefully we can read a couple hundred pages tonight when we get home and get close to finishing it. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna go get dressed, put my face on, put my clothes on, put my shoes on, put all the things on. I don't want to go outside. It's so cold. It's so cold. But I'm gonna go do all the things, and then if I have time, we'll start this. If not, you won't see me until tonight. Okay. Hello, it's been a couple days. I don't know if you guessed that, but I've already failed. But I haven't failed because the goal was not to read every single book. The goal was to continue the video no matter what happens. And that's what we're here to do. It is currently December 8th. So I haven't talked to you in like 4 days. Fuck, my battery's dying. Hang tight. Welcome to the office. This is the new and improved layout. I will eventually give you a better tour. So let's chat, let's catch up. It's time. We have fallen a bit behind. Is anyone surprised? No, least of all me. But the goal of this video was to make the video. I said if I fall behind on books, we're just gonna keep on rolling, keep on filming, keep on going. And that's what we're doing because I am determined to push through. It has been a couple of days since I last updated you. The last time we chatted, I had I was assigned, is that the right word? I was given, we opened up day 4, which was Immortal Dark. I started it and I didn't finish. I would say the first 50 pages, I was actually very intrigued. I was very impressed with the writing and the story, and the mystery of it all seemed very interesting to me. I was very curious where it was going. I was struggling a little bit to get into it, just like as far as the writing style goes. It was a little bit disjointed. I don't know how to explain it. It's a little bit off. I also was having a hard time with some of the pronunciations. So I started listening to the audiobook, and that definitely helped, specifically with the pronunciations. And it definitely helped me get further into it. I'm currently on chapter 26, which is page 135. So I've made a dent, but I definitely have not finished it. And that sucks because it is like 4 days later. Oops. It's currently the 8th. Oh, I got my nails done. That's an exciting update, I think, because I finally have all 10 nails together at once. We'll see if I can make them last till Christmas. That's the real trick, especially because I have not decorated for Christmas yet. That is going to happen probably tomorrow, and I'm going to include some of that in this, I believe. We'll see. I do want to pick our next book, even though we haven't finished book 4, because that one we're doing on audiobook, and I do want to have a book to read physically. So I am going to pick number 8. Here's what we're gonna do, okay? We missed this day, we missed this day, we missed this day. We missed it. It's over. The days are over, right? So I'm gonna pick book 8. If I ever get to a point, hopefully I will, where I'm able to finish one of the books early on a day, I will go back and pick these books. I don't know which books we missed. I hope they're not ones I was dying to get to, but it is what it is. I'd rather do that than be reading book 5 on book 10. That just feels confusing. We're going to do as much as we can of this and as much as we can of Immortal Dark. And I say all that even though I'm literally about to leave for work. So we'll see what happens. So let's find out. Ooh, yay, yay. It's a romantasy. That's good news. It is The Witch Collector, which is out in the living room. So I will go get that in a moment, and I will take that with me to work. I will also listen to this on the way to work, and we are just going to do the best we can to get through both of these. So far, we're 8 days in. We've finished 3 out of 8 books, and that's just where we are, okay? That's it. That's where we are, and we're okay with it. We're okay because we're having fun, and that's what matters, really. Now, I turned on the camera specifically because I have some very exciting book mail, like very exciting. So first, I want to quickly show you my choices for Aardvark as well as Book of the Month this month, because why not? I haven't done a book haul in a real long time and I owe you one, but I can't just keep piling them up. So let's show you as we get them. So this month I did select Alice Feeney's new book, Beautiful Ugly. I am obsessed with this cover. I definitely didn't realize it was like iridescent, and this little like, can you see that? This little like slit down the middle. Is that an inappropriate word to say on the interweb? It's just cute. It's a cute cover. I have heard actually very good things about this, and Alice Feeney is definitely hit or miss for me. Sometimes she hits and sometimes she misses, and that is the definition of hit or miss. What is wrong with me? But I have heard very good things about this so far, so I am definitely intrigued and wanting to get to this sooner than later. It's not going to happen till January, but it's going to happen when it happens. I also picked a backlist book, and this one, like when it was a choice, I just completely looked past it because Leanne Moriarty is an author that I struggle with for the most part. I've had a hard time getting into most of her books. So when I saw she had a new book, I was like, sounds great for others, it's just maybe not for me. But then I kept hearing about it, and I'm just curious because it's basically, well, I'll tell you what the book is. The book is called Here One Moment. I believe the premise is that these people get on this flight, but they are delayed for whatever reason. And this stranger on the plane begins to start telling each of the people on the plane when they're going to die. For some, their deaths are far in the future and they laugh. But for 6 passengers, their predicted deaths are not far away at all. It just sounds interesting and intriguing. It reminds me of another book that I read that I liked but didn't love. I will come up with the title of it after this and I will insert it here. It reminds me a little bit of that, where these 3 siblings or 4 siblings knew when they were going to die for whatever reason. So I don't know, it's something about it just made me curious. So I did end up picking it up. I don't know if I'll get to it. I hope I will, but we'll see. I don't know when. Then for Aardvark, these 2 I'm so excited about. They literally were on my list of books to buy soon, and I love when books that I already was interested in are choices for the month for either Book of the Month or Aardvark, because a lot of times I do discover new authors and new things that I wouldn't normally have, and that's great and fun and wonderful. And a lot of the authors I love are people I love because I discovered them through Book of the Month. But it is really fun and satisfying to see a book that you already were planning on picking up be listed, because now you're getting it for such a good price. This sounds like an ad. It is not. I am not sponsored by anyone but myself. But I picked up Under Lock and Key. I had to have this because Scotland. That's all. That's all. Oh, she's signed. Lana Ferguson. So Lana Ferguson is the author of The Nanny and The Fake Mate, both of which I own, both of which I have not read yet. Make it make sense. But this I definitely wanted to read, and I love, first of all, it's adorable that they have signed books sometimes and you don't even know it. I love the colors they use. They always try to match the cover with their naked hardbacks, and I just think that's so fun. So I picked up this, and then they had a romantasy that I have seen around the interwebs, The Serpent and the Wolf. I have seen this on Book Talk recently. I was going to pick it up regardless, and now I own it, and I'm excited about that. So those are my monthly selections. And then the moment we've all been waiting for, my most exciting book mail of the entire year. Maybe. While I tell you this brief little story, I'll allow you all to have some time to try and come up with what this might be. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. You probably don't, but maybe you do. See if you can guess. But in the meantime, I have to tell you about the travesty that this was. This book came out officially, republished, I guess, but came out officially on December 3rd. There's a hint. And I ordered it. from the UK because I had to have that edition. And I have been patiently waiting. I know it's only the 8th, but that felt like a very long time where I was like, where is this book? And finally, yesterday, it was out for delivery and I was so excited to get home from work and see this book. I couldn't even tell you. And very late in the day, around 7:30, I checked the tracking and it said that the book was being sent back to the publisher because the address was not found. What do you mean? What do you mean? I checked it and checked it and checked it again. I always do because I'm so scared to ever send something to the wrong place. And I have ordered from this company before, so like I know they have my address. Like, and I've successfully received books from them. So what the hell? I was so devastated. I started trying to figure out like how to, I almost reordered it because I was like, I don't want to risk not getting like a first edition, like that, because it's a limited quantity, I believe. I didn't want to not get that one because like I ordered it and it didn't come. So I almost ordered another one, but I was like, let me just wait. If it's getting sent back to the sender, hopefully they will contact me and I can correct whatever they think is wrong, even though I know it's not wrong, and get it sent to me. But I was so devastated that I was gonna have to wait for so long. And then literally 15 minutes ago, there was a knock on the door the very next day, and here it is. So I ordered this from Blackwell's. Can you guess what it is? Do you know what it is? Does anyone know? I've just been dying. Oh my God. Okay, this is, oh my God. It is my favorite book of the year. Oh my God, she's here. I had no idea she was gonna be this thick. Like, I mean, I know I read her on ebook, but it didn't feel this long at all. In fact, it felt too short, in my opinion. I'm so happy to have this. Now, the reason I ordered this from the UK is that allegedly the more discreet alternate cover that everyone had that purchased quite early before they decided to officially publish it this way, I believe this dust jacket is reversible to that cover. So let's find out together, shall we? Oh my, okay, already it's gorgeous. Already it's gorgeous. I have no word. It is. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. I'm having a reaction. Can you tell? Like a visceral reaction to this. Okay. This is the reverse cover, which I was so devastated that I read this book too late by the time I did and realized that I wanted to own a copy and went to try and purchase a copy. This discreet cover no longer existed. You couldn't purchase it anywhere. And I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. But thanks to the wonderful world of Book Talk, I saw somebody mention that if you ordered from the UK, specifically, they would have the dust jacket alternative cover. So I did it. I took a chance. Now I don't know, I haven't seen anyone unbox it or open it from the US. I don't know if maybe they also did that, but I don't believe so. Who's to say? Who knows? Honestly, who knows? But I am thrilled to have this because I just think this cover is gorgeous. I mean, this is fine. We love Kingfisher and we love, it's a beautiful cover. It is. It's a beautiful cover. It's just not quite for me so much as this is. Oh my God, I'm so thrilled. I'm thrilled. And then look at her naked. Look at her naked. She is stunning. I honestly almost want to leave this naked. Should I? Should I? Okay, so then we have, be careful of the deals you make, dear child. Okay. For those who live their nightmares so that others may have their dreams. Okay. This is just, oh my God, I want to read it again. Also, I really want to read the audiobook because the devil is in the details. This is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous book. It's gorgeous, well-binded, Waterstones, not Waterstones, Blackwell's. They always do an amazing job, I think, personally. I also want to listen to the audiobook because that came out recently as well, and I have heard some little snippets of the narrator that reads for Kingfisher. And I have to say, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I've never reversed a dust jacket. Is this going to be difficult? Might take some little shifting, but oh my God. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm just the happiest girl. The happiest girl. That is my little mini book haul for you and my little mini reading update. And I'm now 20 minutes late to work, but it was worth it, wasn't it? It was worth it for these chats that you and I get to have. I'm going to head out to work. I am off tomorrow, so we will hopefully be able to chit chat a little more, maybe be able to read something. I don't know, who's to say? And I might try and update you tonight when I get home because I might start the decorating. I don't know. I seem to be getting a lot more done in the wee hours of the morning recently than I do during the daylight hours, what little of them there are. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to head out, go to work, get that shit over with. And when I get home, maybe we'll chat. Otherwise, I will see you in the morning and I will give you another reading update, and hopefully we will get back on track with this vlog. And it won't be another 4 days before I see you again. Hopefully. Hello, I'm home. It is 8 hours later, but I'm home. And I do have the tiniest update for you. Literally tiniest. I have started The Witch Collector. I read a whopping 29 pages today. 29 pages. Come on. I mean, just flying through. Honestly, I don't know much yet, but so far so good. The story is following a girl and a boy. Raina Bloodgood and Alexis Tybalt. Can't make this shit up. Raina is a witch and lives in a town. It's feeling a bit medieval. I don't really know. Like, her mom picks apples and the winter is coming, so it's going to be really cruel and bitter and cold. So I think it's like a little bit of a more medieval setting or a more historic setting. There's like blacksmiths and things like that. She is mute, which is very interesting. So she signs, she uses sign language to speak. So I guess that when you're a witch, you have like markings on you, like silver markings on your skin. And for some reason, hers never came in. Like, she never got any. So she appears weaker than she actually is. And apparently in this town, every year, a witch collector comes and takes one witch from the town and brings them to the Frost King. I don't know why. I don't know what they do there, but the people in this town, some of them think it's, you know, a blessing and it's like the gods have set this up and this is all like meant to be. Other people, like Raina, think it's bullshit and they don't want to be taken or have their family taken away, and they think the Frost King is cruel. I don't really know what the truth is yet. I don't really know. Raina's sister, years ago, was taken by the witch collector. So she's been gone this whole time. And this year, Raina has decided that she is going to kidnap the witch collector, get him to sneak her into the Frost King's palace or land or something, and find her sister, save her sister, and they're gonna run away, and that's her plan. That's her plan. And every year she doesn't get chosen by the witch collector because she, like I said, appears more weak and innocent than she really is. We do have dual perspectives, so we did get one chapter so far of the witch collector, Alexis with a U. And apparently there's a bunch of kingdoms and they're all kind of like on the brink of war. I think there's like a summer king who is, or a summer queen, summer princess, I don't know, who's like threatening the Frost King. So the Frost King is very nervous, and meanwhile this witch collector is like, it doesn't matter, I have to go do this, I have to go do my job, nothing can change for the town, I have to go get a witch and bring her back. And this year he's planning on getting Raina. And he did mention that he can't get her face out of his mind. So there's already that. But it also seems that I guess her sister let slip that she may or may not be a seer and can predict future things. And so I think they've decided that she is the one they're going to take this year. So basically, that's sort of like the starting premise. She's planning on kidnapping the witch collector and saving her sister. He's planning on collecting her. And that's all I know, 30 pages in. But so far, I like the writing style. It's very easy to fly through. I would have read far more had I had more time today. I'm gonna take my makeup off, get in bed, get cozy, and read as much as I can tonight. And then tomorrow, like I said, we are off from work, so I probably will try and finish the audiobook of Immortal Dark while decorating and cleaning. When I finish that, I will finish this, and then hopefully we will be back on track. I really find it quite ironic the way that I almost purposely set myself up for failure. Like, I don't know if this is something that like I need to maybe look into in therapy, but like, why? Why would I set myself up for failure every single time? Like, it's like, hey, I want to come back to YouTube. So let's do a video where we read 24 books in 24 days in the busiest month of the year. Why not? Instead of like, hey, I want to come back to YouTube, let's do a little reading vlog where we read 2 books, maybe. Maybe. I mean, I just have like zero survival instinct. Like, I have no self-preservation. I just am like, yeah, let's just like dive in head first into the shallow end and just see what happens. What does that say about me? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I was thinking about too today, not only am I already behind, which like, whatever, it happens, but there is like a hard deadline to this because the deadline is Christmas. So actually, come the 23rd, I pretty much won't be able to do any more reading, which is funny because I have a book for the 23rd and the 24th. So I've already, right there, I've already set myself up for failure. If I think that I'm going to be able to read the 23rd and 24th when I have family and things and I'm hosting things and doing things, that's hysterical. Hysterical. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I do the things that I do, but the frustrating thing with all of this, like I'm like, okay, yeah, so like tomorrow I can probably catch up with Immortal Dark and the Witch Collector and like get back on track. However, getting back on track is still going to mean that I'm behind because tomorrow I have to pick another book. And that's the problem that I'm running into, is that every day I have to pick another book. And somehow that thought didn't cross my mind when I made the plan to do these videos, that like every day I have to pick a book every day and read it every day. And if I miss a day, the next day, I can't just read the book I missed because I have to read the book for that day. So then it's 2 books. Do you see where I'm going with this? Anyway, I have officially procrastinated for 10 minutes by talking to you. So thank you so much for that. It is time to wind down and get in bed, and I'm going to wish and hope and pray that I can stay awake long enough to make a little dent in the Witch Collector, more than 30 pages worth, maybe. And then I guess I'll see you in the morning. Hi, it is December 9th? 10th? I don't fucking know. We are, I think, in literally the exact same place we were the last time I saw you. However, I have been a very, very busy little lady. Let's update. First of all, we have some Christmas happening, okay? Let me show you. Okay. We have a long way to go, but we've got Christmas here. Still need to zhuzh that a bit. And here, I don't know if this is going to remain, but we'll see. We have the Christmas sign. We have this. We have replaced the pumpkins with trees. Up here, we've got our favorite Christmas pillows. Ho, ho, ho. This tree, we have a lot of work to do. The bulbs are pretty much all out from the tree itself. So I added a string of lights last year, very last minute, because this happened like the day before I had people over and I panicked, and it's not enough. Lights, for sure. I should have left it alone until I got lights, but I couldn't live with it just naked. So what I did was I put most of my ornaments on, just like sort of willy-nilly, but like temporarily having something here, you know what I mean? but like that box has more. This sign I'm gonna put up here. This I moved from the office, this picture. I had that in the office before and I moved it out here. I don't know if this is a permanent change, but I'll show you why when we get to the office. So hang tight for that. We've got some Christmas here. Just a little bit of Christmas, you know, just a little bit of Christmas. I'm not crazy about the table, so this may change. This is up here. I did make a small change. Ignore all the recycling that needs to go out. There used to be a table here and I had all of the books that I like wanted to donate on them, or some of the books that I wanted to donate. That pile grew a little bit more. It was ugly. It was collecting dust all the time. It just wasn't serving the space, I felt. And this bench was actually back there and then the table was going lengthwise. So I moved this bench over here. Again, this is something I'm just going to try out. I think it'll look much better when the recycling isn't there, but this is something I'm just going to try out and see how I feel about it for now. I don't know if this will stay. I'm kind of digging it. I have to fix that. Put that sign in front. I couldn't decide which thing to hang. I may just try both. Who's to say? The kitchen is a work in progress, so we're not going to do that today. The office is pretty much done. We have that tree. I think that was in the same place last year, pretty much. I added some candles and trees here. Now this used to be where that bubblegum lady was, but I since have gotten my latest show poster and I wanted that hanging, and Come From Away is my first show, so I figured maybe have a special spot of its own because I'm out of room here. Probably with the next show, I may move all of these out into the hallway or something because obviously there's not enough space for this collection to grow, right? We have some couple trees there on the TBR shelf. This is the TBR shelf. It's overflowing. I have some serious work to do in the new year. And then we have just a couple things. It's pretty similar to what I did last year. Just a few things to make it slightly more Christmas. That is the progress that I've made so far. I know it doesn't seem like I got a lot done, but while I was doing all of this, there was a lot of deep cleaning going on as well. Like I moved all of the furniture in the living room to clean every corner and crevice that I could. I don't do that as often as I should, but just knowing that I'm having company next week, I wanted to make sure that I took a little extra care. So it kind of took pretty much the whole day, but it's okay. I still have a week. Basically now I just have to finish the guest room and my room and the bathroom, and then like I'll be able to just do like little spot cleaning right before the day and I should be good, hopefully. While I did all of this, I read the rest of Immortal Dark. I finished her. This was the longest audiobook I think I've ever read in my life. And I think that's probably an exaggeration, but I just felt like it never ended. Now that sounds like I didn't like it. I actually did. I thought this was incredibly well crafted. I thought this was a great story, very well done, but it did feel lengthy in a way that a 400-page book shouldn't. Because I had my headphones in and I had my phone, I lost it several times throughout the day. So I didn't know where I was in the book, but I kept hearing chapters that felt very much like the end of the book, and I would be like, oh my god, it's the end. I'm at the end. They just had this big reveal. I'm at the end. This is the end. And then I would go and I would check on my audiobook and it would be like 4 more hours. And I'm like, what do you mean 4 more hours? And this happened like 3 or 4 times where I felt like it was the end of the book and it wasn't the end of the book. But that being said, it was just a very well crafted story. It was very like highbrow in a lot of ways. It gave me very similar vibes to Ninth House. I think that if you liked Ninth House, I think you would really like this. I think if Ninth House was a bit of a struggle for you as far as pacing goes, I think this might have a similar problem for you. I really liked Ninth House, and so this was definitely a vibe I could get into. I think had I not been so busy cleaning and decorating, I would have noticed more the lulls in the story and the pacing. I would have like noticed it a little bit more, but I was so busy. My body was so busy doing things that my mind really was sort of just along for the ride, and it was just telling me a story while I was getting everything done. And so I didn't mind the pacing, but I do think there probably would be some pacing issues for some people. For me, it was great. It was really good. I definitely am glad I did the audiobook. I don't know that I would have been able to sit still and read this without it, but it was really, really good. It was really good. I have a lot of thoughts and emotions and feelings. Kaiden was a very interesting main character. Again, she reminded me a lot of the main character in Ninth House. Was that Alex? Is her name Alex? She reminded me a lot of her. Kaiden was a very interesting character. She was a little bit self-loathing, which was a big part of at least the beginning of the book, but she also was like a burn the world down kind of, I don't care what happens to me, I just want to make the world right kind of character, and I appreciate that about her. I think that her blind distrust of all vampires was warranted, but also confusing based on the circumstances of this world and her family in this world. They have known about and been around vampires their whole lives. It's part of the world. It's part of everyday life. And so she has this weird, like, I don't know if it's like a prejudice, I guess, against vampires or Draeniacs. And I get it. I do understand where it's coming from. But at the same time, she just could have, I feel like, gotten a lot further, a lot quicker had she just like opened her mind a little bit and given people a little bit more of a chance, specifically the vampires. I did appreciate the African roots that this had. I love when you get to see a different culture that you don't know that much about in a fantasy setting. I find fascinating. This was a typical regular vampire book, Dark Academia vampire book, but it had roots in Nigeria and African culture that made it almost like a learning experience for me, which I really appreciated. So I believe, yeah, the author is from Ethiopia, Ethiopian writer based in Melbourne. Passionate about exploring East African characters and myths, she weaves Black stories with the dark and fantastical in her work. And that's exactly what this was. Like, it was mixing the two, which I found to be incredibly well done. Incredibly well done, and made it unique and stand on its own in a way that not many other books you can think of do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, this is definitely a one of a kind. So I really liked it. I think I'm gonna give it a 4-star. Like I said, I think that some of the pacing would have been more of a problem had I not listened to the audiobook, so I'm glad I did. And I think because of that, I don't think I can give it higher than a 4, but I do think it was incredibly well done. And if you like Dark Academia, vampires, Ninth House, honestly, if you like any of that, like mystery element in a fantasy setting at a school, I think that you would really enjoy this because the writing is incredible. That's book 4 done. We are currently in the middle of reading book 8, The Witch Collector, which is what I'm going to go sit and read right now because I'm finally calling it quits for the day, and I'm going to sit down and have a cozy night tonight. It's 5 o'clock, so I want to like really enjoy my evening and get all of my reading done and maybe watch a movie. I saw It Ends With Us was just added to Netflix. We'll see. The Witch Collector, which is what I'm going to go sit down and read now, is out in the living room. I am probably 50 pages in. I want to say, no, I'm more than that because I just got to part 2. So I might be more than that. I'm really enjoying it. I'm curious where it's going. I think the romance is going to be really strong in this. I can already tell that that's going to be probably the best part of this. But the world is much more complex than I was expecting. I was expecting this to be heavier on the romance than it was on the fantasy. And I'm finding that there's a lot of politics and war and different countries being introduced, different princes and kings and factions. And you kind of have to really pay attention, which I appreciate because I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be a lighter sort of like the romance is at the forefront and the politics and fantasy is just sprinkled in, which is fine, but this is much more political than I was expecting, and I appreciate that a lot. I am gonna try and finish that tonight. It's 5 o'clock. I'm in the middle of my second energy drink, so I think I'm gonna be awake for a while, hopefully. So I think I have a shot of finishing it, but I do want to pick the 9th book because I don't want the day to go by without doing that. So I will pick the 9th book. We will go sit and try and finish The Witch Collector, and if we do, we will start this one, which is, ooh, it is Glow by Raven Kennedy. So Glow is the 4th book in the Plated Prisoner series, which I started last month and flew through the first 3 pretty much within a matter of days. I don't know how I was able to stop, if I'm being honest, so I had to include it in this, even though there's still 2 more books, so I'm not going to be finishing the series by the end of the year, but I just really wanted to get to more sooner rather than later. I'm feeling very much like I haven't seen any Christmas books, and I haven't really seen, I saw one of the like everyone else was hyping it up so I should read it too books, but the rest of them have all kind of been exactly what I'm in the mood for, which is interesting. I either didn't mix this up well or I don't know, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with reading 2 romantasy in a row. That is absolutely okay with me. Also, Glow is on my Kindle because I don't own the physical copies yet because I can't decide which copies I want because there's a couple of different ones out there. So until I figure that out, I'm not buying any of them. But I am pleased as punch to be able to read my Kindle tonight because I am just in a Kindle mood and I read much faster on Kindle. That is my little update. We got a lot done, and now we're gonna enjoy our night and read freshly laundered. We're gonna have a cozy reading night and hopefully finish The Witch Collector and maybe start Glow. My dudes, we are being fed with this book. First of all, it's the perfect winter book. It's snowy, it's frosty, it's icy. They're in the middle of the woods and it's freezing cold. They're having to keep each other warm. And we are being fed with hurt comfort, a lot of hurt comfort. Like I said, the keeping warm trope, she just woke up in his arms. It's so interesting because he is in her mind, he is like the reason for the loss of her family. She blames it all on him. But now that she knows him and she's getting to know him and she's met him, she's having a hard time because he's not the monster she pictured. He's kind and thoughtful, and he's trying to help her like with her magic, help her get stronger and do more. The magic system is really interesting. It's very based in like connection and songs. They call it like constructs. So right now they're in the middle of these woods, and the witch walkers, the witches that are at the castle that they're trying to get to, Winterhold, have basically made this magic construct over these woods, over this forest, to prevent their enemies from getting through it, making it incredibly harsh conditions and scary things in the forest and whatever. And it's really interesting because then she has all these different abilities. She has some healing abilities. She has some seer abilities, like future teller sort of stuff. She's still discovering more. He does not have magic anymore, he says, and I don't know why. That's an interesting mystery that we don't know the answer to yet, but the magic is really interesting. They just were trying to build a fire, and that's not typically something that like is within her skill set of magic, but he was like, I can help you do it. I can teach you how to do it. We could do it together. And she was like, I don't want to do this. I know what it takes. I know that magic is based in connection. Essentially what they had to do is like stand together, huddle together to create warmth enough for her to create this fire. Like, and the whole time she was like, I don't want to like this. I don't want to enjoy this. But she was. It's definitely romancing quite nicely. I really want them to get through the forest though, because as I've said earlier, like the whole journeying thing, I said this with Metal Slinger, the whole journey thing is just not for me when it comes to fantasy. Like, I just want them to get to the destination. And I'm hoping this entire book isn't the journey there, because I know it's a series, so that very well could be the case, but I'm hoping not. But I just want them to get to Winterhold and like move on from this part. However, this part is allowing for a lot of wonderful little tropes, like I said, like the hurt, comfort, keeping warm, all of these things. And it's giving them an opportunity to get to know each other. And he's already totally enamored, and she is fighting as hard as she can not to feel things for him. So we'll see where it goes. I failed. I haven't finished it, but I'm so tired. I'm like 3/4 of the way through. I have like 100 pages left. I can feel my eyes like starting to drift. So I'm gonna move into the bedroom to try and finish there. I know that by the time I like turn the lights off and fix the pillows and wash my makeup off and get in bed, I'll probably be a little bit more awake enough to hopefully finish, so that's the plan. But I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to bed, and you can't come with me. You can't. But hopefully in the morning I will have a fresh update with my final thoughts. We're still traveling. We're still on a journey. The journey is journeying, and I'm not bored, but I just like want it to get going, you know? So I'll see you in the morning. I'm convinced my apartment is crooked. Like, it's not the camera, it's the floor. Just saying. It is the next day, and it's 9:30 at night. Just got home from work. Don't really have much to say. Oh, yes, I do have much to say. I mean, I have some to say. I finished The Witch Collector last night. I did manage to get through it before I went to sleep, which was awesome. I swear, like, if I'm falling asleep on the couch, just the act of getting up and going to my room, like, reinvigorates me for another 100 pages. It's crazy. Pro tip, if you're getting sleepy, move locations. Might trick you into staying up long enough to finish a book. Just saying. So this is done. This is the 5th book that I've finished. So for those keeping count, we have officially finished 5. I have some very mixed feelings on this. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the world way more than I thought I would. I thought this was just going to be like a smutty, angsty little time, you know, like a little enemies to lovers angsty situation. I did not expect it to have such immersive world building. There are gods and the history of the gods and the way that the world came together and came to be the way it is now was really interesting. It was really interesting. I liked finding out everything as our main character did. What's her name again? Raina. So in the beginning of the book, Raina knows, you know, what she's been taught all her life about the Frost King and the Summerlands and all of the other like royals in different kingdoms that are all kind of like fighting with each other, but like there's like temporary peace going on. By the end of the book, she learns there's so much more to the story, and those that she's always hated and blamed for the way their lives are might not actually be the bad guys. The lore is just so interesting with the gods and the love and this god was in love with this god and then they cursed this person to be with this person and then this person is, it was like there's so much layering and it was really, really interesting. I wonder if this is based in, and you can let me know if you know, if this is based in any specific mythology. It's definitely not something I'm familiar with, these names and these gods, but maybe it is based in something real. I don't know. But I really enjoyed that part. I think the romance was good. There were some really good tropes done. I definitely am here for the chemistry. I'm here for the angst. I do think that it surprised me a little bit that they got together as quickly as they did, knowing that there are more books coming. I wonder what is going to happen now with the romance. I think there's tons more story to tell as far as the politics in the world, but I do wonder like where the romance is going, because it seems like they're both kind of on the same page right now. Like they're both kind of like into each other, admittedly, and like, I don't know where that is headed. So I have questions about that. I will say I do feel like this is definitely a very entry book into this world, and I think it needed to be, but I do think that as far as plot goes, this was a bit of a slow-paced book. We were given so much information about the characters and the world. I think that because of all the information that the author needed to convey to make you understand this world and the people and the characters and the politics and the relationships, I think because of that, there wasn't a lot of plot happening because you really did have to focus on like getting to know everyone. But I do think that moving forward, now that we know the story, we know the situation, we know the world, I do think that the next two books are going to be much more action-packed than this one was. And it's not to say that there was no action, because there definitely was. I was not bored by any means, but I do think that, like, as far as pacing goes, this is like a bit of a slower, quieter book. And I think it could end up being much more explosive now that we are where we are, if that makes sense. I really liked it. I don't think that it's a 5-star, but I could see giving a 5-star to the next two books depending on how they go. I feel like this is headed in a place that I could definitely see giving 5 stars. You know, I think I'm gonna go with a 4. I think. I'm very interested to read the next one. I'm very interested to see where this goes, and I'm definitely going to be continuing in the new year for sure with this series because it was really good. I did start Glow by Raven Kennedy. That is the 4th book in the Plated Prisoner series. I did start that a little bit today on the Kindle. I really did not get very far. I think I might only be like 12% in, but so far so good. It's so good to be back in that world again. I honestly, like, I think there's really something to be said for how quickly I'm reading this series in general as a whole. You know, if you look at my history with series, it's not the best. There are series that I love, but like there's not the drive to pick up the next book immediately. It usually takes me a bit, which is why there's series that I am in the middle of and have been in the middle of for over a year, 2 years now. It's a problem. But this series definitely has made me like want to binge it, which is something that I find a little bit rare with series. So I think that is a major positive for this series. Like, I think that says a lot. So if you've read this series, you know that book 1 is very much, I almost feel like it's like a novella introducing you to the world and the characters. I don't think that it's very much, I didn't like it, honestly. I didn't love it. I thought it was super dark, which I don't mind, but like dark for no reason almost. Like it felt like it was like trying to shock you. Like it was like placing too much in like shock value and trying to like get you to be like, oh my God, you know? And I just didn't feel like the payoff was worth it. But I had heard from so many people that you just have to get through that first book and then you will get to the second book where the story really actually takes off, and the people that you get introduced to in the second book aren't even in the first book, and those are the people that you start to see a found family and these relationships building and all of these things. So you do kind of have to get through that first one to get to a place where this is like really a solid story. But once you get there, or once I got there personally, I couldn't stop. I couldn't put it down. I love these characters. I should tell you what it's about. For those that don't know, this is a King Midas retelling, and we follow our main character who is painted gold. Her skin, her hair, her eyes, everything is gold. She is basically enslaved and kept in a gilded cage by this king, Midas. He has like a bunch of what he calls saddles. They're basically like his concubine sort of people. It's gross. I mean, he has a wife, but like he also openly has all of these people that he is constantly having relations with. And she is one of them, this gold girl, but she is kind of like special. She's kept in a cage. She is not allowed out ever. And when we start the book, she is okay with that because she references how bad life was before and how this is the only way to stay safe, by being in this cage. Midas is taking care of her. He's protecting her. He's keeping her safe in this cage. So she's like, okay, being kept like this, which is hard to buy. But at the same time, if she, you know, she keeps saying that she's been through so much, and you slowly learn over time and honestly over books, like what exactly she went through to get to a point where she would rather be kept as a slave, essentially in a cage by this king, than be free and be out in the world. But then it goes so much deeper than that when you start to get into book 2 and 3, and now I'm in book 4. I believe there's 6, so I think I have, after this one, 2 more. But the fact that I started this series in November and I'm already on book 4, like, that is very unlike me, and I think that says a lot about how I'm feeling about the book, you know? So I obviously didn't finish it. I'm still behind. What else is new? We're still behind. I do have to do some editing for my other channel right now, and I don't know how much I'm going to be able to read tonight before bed because I'm exhausted. But we're going to do as much as we can, and I will update you when I have gotten further into Glow, and then we will try and make a game plan going forward for how we're going to start to catch up, or if we're not going to catch up. So that's it. That's my update. I will see you when I see you.
Oops. I did it again. I started a vlog and then forgot to film. Ooh, baby, baby.
Hi. It's been a minute. You wouldn't know that because editing me is gonna make some magic happen. But it's been a minute. I think the last time I talked to you, it was December 9th, and it is currently December 31st. So, oops. Listen, was it an ambitious goal to read 24 books in 24 days? Yes. Was it even more ambitious to do so during December when I had holiday things happening, as everyone else probably did? Yes. Yes, it was. Did I know going into it that I would not be able to keep up with it? Honestly, yes. Yes. But that's why the greater challenge, other than reading 24 books in 24 days, the bigger picture, if you will, was to complete a vlog, because it's been a really long time since I've done so, other than like a 24-hour here and there. It's been a long time since I've done a long form, over several days, several books type of vlog. I didn't want to abandon this one like I have every other one that I tried to start this year and didn't complete. So in that sense, we technically succeeded, because here I am finishing out the vlog. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you. It was a hefty, stressful idea, but it was also really fun. It was really fun. Here's the deal. Here's what I need to catch you up on. Because the last time we talked, I think the last clip I filmed, I think, was when I selected Glow. I'll put that here. And that right there was just silly, because I think the Kindle book, when I opened it, said it was like 10 hours, 12 hours, something like that. So like right there, like I'm not getting that done in a day. There just was no way. There was no way. So that's the last time I spoke to you. And then it was like, all right, well, when I finish it, then I'll start vlogging again. But then I finished it, but I was in the middle of other things that were just taking up my time. And then there was like a 5-day period where I was literally on my hands and knees scrubbing the baseboards because I was having family over on the 23rd. And I went a little overboard, as one does when one is having family members over. I went a little overboard with the preparations, okay? The first to admit it. It's who I am as a person. I was like so buried in that whole thing that I couldn't even fathom like putting on makeup. I was like a hot mess for like 4 days straight. Couldn't even imagine putting on makeup and talking to a camera. Like I was like, there's no time. There's no time. Like there were hours where I was like literally for 12 hours a day, just going. It all worked out fine. I had a wonderful Christmas Eve, a wonderful Christmas Day, a lovely little break afterwards where I hung at my mom's for longer than I typically get to, and we got to do fun things like go to a movie, go to a brewery, all of these things I could have vlogged, but I didn't. It is what it is, okay? I was not filming at all. However, I was reading. So you will be thrilled to know that I actually, out of the 24 books I was supposed to read, I actually read 12 of them. Literally 50%. 50% of the books have been read. It did get to a point where I just started reading some of the Christmas books because I was like, if I don't read them now, then they're gonna wait another year and I can't do that. So I did just start picking out of order and just reading Christmas books. And I'm not gonna apologize for that, okay? I'm not gonna apologize for that. Did I go backwards a little bit? Yes. Did I not read the really popular and intimidating books that was the whole purpose of doing this? Yes, also correct. So to briefly recap, for me mostly, because you just saw this, I read Spark of the Everflame, loved it. Then I read Apprentice to the Villain, loved it. Then I read, oh yeah, this is where things get fun, okay? Then I read Metal Slinger, which at the time, I think I gave it a 4.5. However, I would like to proudly announce that this has been upgraded to a 5-star and added to my favorite books of the year list, okay? I can't explain it. This book has eaten its way into my brain to a point where I can't stop thinking about it 24/7. And therefore, it deserves a higher rating. It deserves all the stars. It deserves all the accolades. I'll talk about this more in my best books of the year, but it's now a 5-star. Just know that, okay? Then we read Immortal Dark, which was also very good. Honestly, I didn't read a bad book this entire time. I'll be honest. Well, sort of. Then we read The Witch Collector. Had a good time with this. I look forward to completing the series because I have a feeling that they're just going to get better as they go. And then that leads us to Glow. So let's talk about Glow. What can we talk about? It's a middle of a series. It's the 4th book out of, I believe, 6 in the Plated Prisoner series. I have been loving reading this series. I've never, I shouldn't say never, but it's been a really long time since I've read a series back to back like this close together. Obviously, it's kind of how it's meant to be. Binging series is like way more fun because you don't have to remember things and whatever, and you can go right from one cliffhanger to the next. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I think that Glow started a little slow for me, but I think it leveled up in a lot of ways. I think it expanded on the world. I think it expanded on, obviously, the plot. I think there was some character development that really sort of leveled everything, elevated everything up to a new place. I'm so curious to see how this series is going to end, because we have 2 more books, I think. I have 2 more books. And I couldn't even tell you where it's going to go, but I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time with it. I think I'm going to give this one a 4-star, I think. What happened next? Oh, so then we went backwards because I needed something on my Kindle. And I actually had a Christmas Eve love story downloaded on my Kindle. So I figured Christmas, let's just read this, okay? I missed that day. I think that was like 7th day, but I missed it on the calendar. So we read that. I struggled with that. I get so excited when I see anything about time loops and timey-wimey things. I think it's such a good trope and it's such a fun idea, the magic of it and the Groundhog's Day of it. But in practice, I realized that it tends to be incredibly dull and repetitive. It tends to be really difficult unless you really, really love the characters. And like, it's not that I didn't like them, but I just didn't care. They just felt a little bit bland. And so watching them do the same things over and over and over and over and over and over just was a little bit hard to get through. Like I just didn't find myself being like, oh, I want to see what happens next. And like, I want to turn the page. Like, it just wasn't that kind of book for me. And that's okay. It was still a good, cute, fun time. I think I would give it a 2.5 star, 2.75. Like, I can't in good conscience give it a 3-star because I feel like a 3-star is like I had a good time and like I didn't have a great time with this. Do you know what I mean? That feels so mean, but like, listen, it is what it is, okay? What happened next? Oh, while I was doing some of the cleaning preparations for the holidays, I listened to the audiobook of Make the Season Bright. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I think Ashley Herring Blake is just really good at writing sapphic romance. I think she's just good at it, you know? I'm just looking over here because I'm realizing I still need to read Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail and the 3rd book in that series. But Delilah Green Doesn't Care, I loved, and this same thing, she's so good. And this was Christmas too, so it was even better. It was like a warm hug and it was like, So this is a second chance romance. I don't love the second chance romance trope, and I think that it's often done a little bit poorly where either you can't understand why they broke up in the first place, like it's not a valid enough reason, like it doesn't actually make enough sense, or it doesn't make sense for them to ever forgive the other. You know what I mean? Like there's not really any in between. This was just charming. It was charming. It was sweet. I loved both of the characters. I loved the points of view from both of the characters because they felt very unique and different from each other. I had a good time. It was just a cozy, fun, good time, and like emotional, like more emotional than I expected. There's a lot of like heartbreak in this and a lot of like longing and regret, you know. I don't know. It was fun. It was good. I think I'll give it 3.5 stars, I think. Speaking of second chance romances, I actually binged the crap out of this in one sitting. This is All I Want Is You by Fallon Ballard, who I don't think I've ever read anything by. I don't think. But she's a short little 250-page book. This is a second chance romance between two authors. They're both romance authors. They used to date when they first got into writing, into the publishing world. They both like got published and then basically broke up. He broke her heart. She has no idea why, and it's been 3 years, and they work for the same publisher but have avoided each other. And then she is asked by the publisher to present an award to him at this like banquet thing. It's basically said that it would be good for her career. So she has no choice but to do it, even though she hates him, doesn't want to see him, doesn't want to talk to him, doesn't want to deal with him. She decides to do it. So she goes to this hotel, of course, gets snowed in. Somehow they didn't have her reservation. So she ends up staying in the room with him, and memories and things just start to pop up. I think something really fun about this is because they were romance authors, there was a lot of commentary about romance tropes, about romance stories. Like it was very meta in a lot of ways because it was talking about writing a second chance romance within a second chance romance, and they were each writing second chance romances, but it was mirroring their own relationship. And when they were in a relationship and wrote romances, they would like talk through each other's like, you know, sex scenes or whatever, or she would help him with like how a girl things and he would help her. Like there was a lot of like very meta stuff happening. I honestly think that both of the characters were super believable. I actually liked when you finally found out the reason they broke up. I actually appreciated it. I didn't think it wasn't like a huge misunderstanding, miscommunication, which they even talk about like, oh, the miscommunication trope is like so tired and used and people get so mad at it. And it wasn't that. It wasn't like oh, if we had only talked. It was partly that, but there were other things going on. And I just think it was well done. I think it was a really well executed for 250-page book. Like it was a very well executed, cozy, Christmassy, snowed in, only one bed, exes to lovers. Like it was just all around. It was just a good time. Like it was really a good time. I think, honestly, I gave it like a 4.5. I put it on Goodreads, I think, as a 5-star because like I liked it that much. I had fun. I also read The Wedding Witch in one sitting as well. This was amazing. Amazing. It was so much fun. I think I forgot how much I was looking forward to Bowen's story. He's like the perfect, angry, brooding, loner, mountain man character. Perfect. Like keeps to himself, doesn't like people, doesn't like, you know, relationships and talking to people and whatever, and he's just broody and lives in his little hut and whatever. And then she's just like this sunshine, silly, bickery, bantery girl who brings out a lot of banter in him, and it was delightful. It was so delightful to watch. It was so nice to see. I had such a good time. Plus there was like a time traveling element because of the magic. I think she's so good. She is so good at writing these like witch stories, making it feel, it's not like info dumpy. So obviously magic isn't real, right? We know this. And so she has to explain how this world works, how this magic works a little bit in order for you to follow along. But she does it in such a seamless way where it's just worked into the story and it kind of feels like you already knew it. You know what I mean? Like it already feels like, oh yeah, that's just like how it works and I knew that already. Like it feels very organic, I feel like. I mean, obviously this is the third book. There's the X-Hex, the Kiss Curse. So we got a lot of like intro into the world in those books, obviously. But I just think she just makes it so seamless and it makes it so fun and so silly and so swoony. Yes, it was insta-lovey. I mean, I don't even care. And I don't even have any regrets about it. Like it was just a good time. A good time. Again, I gave it a 4.5, 4.75. Like 5 stars on Goodreads. I loved this. This, I think, is my favorite book of all 3 of them. So it was a total win, and I almost didn't read this. I almost was like, you know what, let me just save it for next year. I'm so glad I squeezed it in. While I was home visiting family, I tried very, very hard to read The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. I tried. It became a running joke throughout the entire weekend. Every time everyone was like doing their own stuff, occupied by their own stuff, I would like crack the spine and I would hear, no, 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 no. My family didn't want me distracted by reading. They wanted me present. And that's fair. That's fair. But if you're all gonna look at your phones, I'm gonna read, right? I tried very hard to read this. It did not happen. It just didn't happen. So I ended up reading it when I got back from my little Christmas extravaganza. And this was good. I think I put way too much expectation onto it just based on other people's reviews. People were raving about this. And I do think that it was a really fun time. I really hope there's more. I really, really, really hope that she's writing more in this world, in this setting, because it does leave it in a place where you could maybe possibly do more. It was so fun. It's Knives Out meets rom-com with a Christmas twist. It's exactly what it's supposed to be. It has the mystery element, which I could not figure out until toward the end, so that was good. The romance grew on me. At first I was struggling a little bit with it, but over time I think I really ended up being quite invested in these two and in their relationship together. Once again, it's following two authors, I just realized. Anyway, they're thriller authors, not romance authors. This was really fun. This was not, I don't think it was like the 5-star I was expecting it to be, but I think that's on me. I think I put way too high of expectations onto this book that did not need to be there, and I think I probably would have enjoyed it slightly more if I wasn't being so critical of it, because I was thinking, well, everyone else loves it, so I'm gonna love it. You know what I mean? I did like it. I liked it quite a bit. I just didn't like love it. And the last book that has nothing to do with Christmas, but I did squeeze it in because I just felt like I had to at least do one that was like trending. So I read The Wedding People. It was an interesting choice to read this time of year because it definitely does not take place in the winter. It definitely is in Newport, Rhode Island, right? I think Newport, Rhode Island in like summer during a wedding. There's beaches, there's sailing, there's surfing, there's all sorts of mentions of all these things. So it definitely wasn't the perfect time of year to be reading it, but I just wanted to know what all the hype was about with this one, and I get it. I totally get it. I think that this was a really, really well done character story. I think that it was well written. I think that it was interesting. I think that if you didn't know what it was about going into it, you probably would have been in for quite a shock. I unfortunately did know what I was getting into before I started it, and so that might have taken a little bit away from me because I think it would have been more interesting if I was just going in thinking it was going to be like a silly, quirky little thing and then finding out the details. But that being said, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed Phoebe's journey. I think that all of the things she was dealing with within her life, within her marriage, within her relationships, her career, all of the many things that led her to be in this hotel at this time, I think they're relatable to so many people. You might not hit all of them, you might not hit on every single one, but you'll probably feel like you've been through something, or you know someone who's been through something very similar. And so she's relatable. She feels very much like like your sister or your mom or your best friend. Like she feels like somebody that is just real. She's just a very real character. She's very flawed, but she's very real. And I also think that the antics within the wedding party itself, I think they brought enough levity to a story like this where it was entertaining and you were laughing at times and smiling, and it felt like a warm hug. Like by the end, in the beginning of it, it's like dark, right? And then by the end of it, it's kind of just like, you know, like what is that noise that I made? I don't know. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like at the very end. It's just like you take this journey with her. You feel what she's feeling. So in the beginning, it's like it is a pit in your stomach and this like dark, sad, like, oh my God, you feel sympathetic for her and empathetic and all of those things. But then by the end, having witnessed all of these events that take place over this wedding weekend and meeting all of these wedding people, she becomes ingrained within this group, and you too feel like you're a part of it. Like you feel like you know these characters so well, and that by the end you're kind of like, Like I have a brighter outlook on things. I don't know, does that make any sense? I enjoyed it. The point is I enjoyed it. I see why people have been giving this book as much hype as it's been getting this year. I think it is a universal book that most people could relate to in some way, and many, many, many women probably would love and find things within Phoebe and within this book that feel very familiar to them. It just felt good. It felt good. It felt like a sigh, like you finish the book and you just like breathe a sigh of relief. That's like the best way I can explain it. I'm gonna give it a 4-star. It's not my perfect book personally. That's a me problem, not a book problem. Honestly, for what it was well done, incredibly well done. And I think just I'm not the perfect audience for it. 4 stars, great book. If you haven't read it yet, pick it up. That completes our Advent calendar for December. 24 books in 24 days. I read 50%, which is not bad. I stopped filming and dropped the ball on that, but we picked it back up in the end. We closed it out. We are going to edit this. We are going to post it no matter what it looks like, even if it's garbage. You're going to see it. So if you're seeing this now, that means that I followed through on the words I just said. If you made it this far into the video, you can leave a boat, because they go on a boat in this book. You can leave a boat in the comments below. It'll make no sense because it's the middle of winter, but that's why it's fun. And thank you so much for watching whatever this turns into. I hope that editing me can make it make sense and make it slightly interesting, but honestly, the jury's still out. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But thank you for watching this with me, and I promise you and I promise me that in this new year I am going to be gentler with myself. I so appreciated some of you guys were commenting on my last video where I talked about doing this challenge, and you were like, I feel like you're being a little hard on yourself. Like maybe like just go easy. And like you're absolutely right. Like I make these big exciting challenges in my head, and it's not even out of some like competitive nature, although that's part of it. It's more just like I really do want to read 24 books in 24 days. Like I want to read everything. I want to do everything. I want to post. I want to do all the things. I just can't possibly do all the things I promise. And so I need to get better at under promising and over delivering. And if I say I'm going to do a challenge, maybe it's a challenge to read like 2 books this week, you know, something that I actually could potentially achieve and maybe overachieve. You know what I mean? These are life lessons, kids. Life lessons that I'm still learning at the ripe old age of 35. So, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I love you all so much, and I will see you in another video very soon. Maybe. Honestly, who knows? Bye! How are you? What's up? Okay, things are not going well. If you made it this far into the video, leave any ideas, people? Oh, mother, don't do this to me. Even though it's like not a real thing, I don't know what I'm saying. Like, okay, well, now we're going glasses free. I can't believe I have this in my hands finally after reading it on ebook and watching so many other people hold it up and not having it. Oh, please stick. Please, for the love of Pearl. Please please stick. Okay. Is that a spoiler? Oopsie daisy. I'm stuck. Oh God. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. What idiot decided to not film the intro first? 9th house. Not like Alexis, like. There's just no thought. There's no thought. There's no follow through. It's just like flying by the seat of our pants. Just whatever happens, happens. Speaking of Christmas, I also read The Wedding I really need to get a new tripod. Like, Real bad. Real bad. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. I give up. I give up. Hold on. What is her name? Phoebe. Phoebe? Yeah. What was I saying? Sorry, I'm getting text. Are 24 books in 2020? Nope. Siren Break? You're not making any sense. Honestly, I'm sick of it, if I'm being frank.